In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to create a gradient page background in your Squarespace website. I'm Becca from Inside the Square, and as always, the codes I'm about to share with you are listed directly underneath this video. But as I'm sure you can imagine, there are some really important parts of this code that you'll want to customize to make it uniquely yours. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and share my screen and teach you exactly how to create that gradient page background in Squarespace. Let's get started. Here we are inside Squarespace, and I have a standard page on my website with a few different page sections. We're going to be adding a gradient background to this page. To do this, we'll be adding custom CSS to our website. On the left-hand side of the screen, I'm going to select Pages, and then Custom Code, and then Custom CSS. If your menu doesn't look like this, press the / key on your keyboard and look for Custom CSS. That's the easiest way to navigate there. Now that we're here, let's add our gradient code. The first thing I'm going to do is type #page. This identifies the entire page container, so every single section on this page is going to get the background code we're about to add. I'll open up a curly bracket, and let's say background, linear gradient, and how about we go from pink to a light yellow. Now our gradient code works, but we can't see it just yet because the background color of each one of these page sections is still visible. We need to hide that as well. Now I'm going to say page, section, section border, and I'll open up a curly bracket and say opacity 0. I'll spell opacity correctly. There we go. Now we have a gradient background going from a pink all the way to a light yellow at the very bottom. Now, section border in our code right here, it's a bit of a misnomer. The section background is inside there as well, and we just set it to opacity 0 so it's transparent. Again, if we don't have that part of the code, we won't be able to see our linear gradient background. Now, let's say you love this linear gradient, but you don't want it on the whole page. You want it on just this section right here. We can do that using a data section ID. There's a free Chrome extension that I love to use. I'll link to it underneath this video. It's called the Squarespace ID Finder, and as soon as I turn it on, you'll notice everything on my Squarespace website has a unique ID. This right here is the data section ID that we're going to use in our code, so only this section gets our linear gradient. I'm going to copy this by clicking on it. I'll turn off the extension. Again, you'll find that linked underneath this video. And I'm going to replace #page with the data section ID. Now you can see our other page sections have returned to normal, but the only page section getting that pink to light yellow fade is this unique page section right here. Pretty awesome, right? Again, you'll find all of these codes underneath this video, but there's one more thing I wanted to share with you before we call this tutorial a wrap, and that is my free guide to gradients at insidethesquare.co/gradient. Inside this guide, you'll find a video that explains how gradient codes work and a bunch of practice codes for you to play with on your own Squarespace website. You can quickly copy one of these codes directly out of the guide, and back here in Squarespace, let's replace our gradient code of pink to light yellow with the code that we just copied. Pasting it here, you'll see we now have this new gradient taking over the background of that individual page section. Underneath this video, you'll find the codes that we use to create that gradient page background in Squarespace. You'll also find a link to that free Chrome extension for identifying a very specific page section if that's all you want to customize. And I've included a link to my free gradient guide with more information on creating custom gradient codes for Squarespace. I'm Becca from Inside the Square, and I truly hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this tutorial or anything about Squarespace, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to help. Thanks again for watching, and most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now. Good news, Squarespacer. We finally have an AI that truly understands Squarespace. Meet Custom Cody. Built specifically for Squarespace users and trained on every nuance of the program, Custom Cody is your AI-powered assistant for effortless, expert-level Squarespace customization. Available now at customcody.com.